This is Talk of the Town, a weekly program featuring community events happening in and around Northeast Michigan, with your host, Nancy Smitham, and get the latest from Alpena Community College with Don McMaster. And now, today's Talk of the Town.
Good morning and welcome to Talk of the Town. I'm Nancy Smitham. My first two guests are here today to talk about Susan's Wish. I have Carolyn Shakusky and Penny Barton. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Penny, I'm going to start with you because you're a dear friend of mine. I happen to know all about Susan's Wish. So why don't you tell us from start to finish where we are with Susan's Wish?
Susan's Wish was starting in 2012 after she had passed away from ovarian cancer. Her wish was to help other cancer patients through their journey, whether it be with gas cards or food cards or motel stays outside of Alpena or the surrounding area. It's really gone through with the social worker at the hospital. She designates those funds to people with financial needs. And the unique thing with the prescriptions, we do a few of those, but there is one that is in very high demand with people with throat cancer or that type of cancer. That prescription is not covered by insurance, so it helps those people with a better quality of life to be able to swallow and taste and take the pain away.
And you know, to go through a devastating diagnosis and disease like cancer, then have to struggle financially and be worried about where you're going to get things like that for your loved one, that's really awesome that you do things like that to take that away. And we do want to mention that Susan was your daughter, so this is very personal for you.
Yes, it is.
Okay. And now, Carolyn, I know that you and Joe happen to have one of the most beautiful gardens in Alpena because I've been there.
Oh, thank you.
So tell me how your garden got started.
Well, it was a city lot that we bought behind our home. It used to be the playground for Baldwin School, which was right on the corner of Clinton and Baldwin. So we bought the lot, and there was some, like maybe 4 mature trees on the lot. Other than that, it was empty. And Joe says, well, what are we going to do with this now? And I said, well, I've always wanted a park-like setting. And he goes, oh, I kind of wanted a farm setting because, you know, my grandparents had a farm in Posen.
So you married the two.
So we said, well, let's see what we can do together. And we both love antiques. We both love art. And we both love flowers. So it just started from there, and it really has gone. Since 2010, 6 years, it's just in a marvelous state. And Joe has done a lot of work. He does all the building and digging and edging and mowing and all that kind of stuff. I just get to plant the flowers and water them and weed them and enjoy them.
Well, I was so excited one time because I had a special tree, and I thought, and I went to your garden, and you had it too. So I know that you're always adding things every year.
We're always adding every year, yes. And improving.
Right. And, you know, something about your garden, it's not just plants, it's all the unique buildings and things. So tell us about some of the buildings and ideas for those.
Well, the first thing we put out there was, first Joe went and found a barn that he could get all the wood off it because he wanted barn board, real barn board. So we went and found one, and I am crawling through grass, putting the boards into the trailer, looking around for snakes. But the first thing we did was put the barn up. So we had the barn with the siding. And then I started putting my things in his barn. So he said, I think it was a year later, he said, you know what, you need your own place. So he built this little garden shed for me. So I had that for at least 2 years. And then he built a pergola, which is between the two of them. So we'd have a little sitting area. And it was the year before last. My garden shed just wasn't big enough. I had no place to sit. So I said, you know, how much more room would the city allow us to put on here? And he goes, oh, we could get you a little room. So now I have what he calls the hen house because I love chickens and roosters, and they're all over the yard. So.
And one thing about your garden is, like I said, it's real whimsical. So if anybody comes, there's going to be funny things, there's poignant things, there's sculptures, there's artworks, and even the fence is a work of art.
Yes. What we have are places or windows, old windows that people have painted on, that Joe has painted on. And also we have really old antique pieces that were from farms and incorporated them. Those and metal wheels, we've used them in the garden.
Things you wouldn't expect to see in a garden.
No, you wouldn't expect that. So even though there might be flowers that have already bloomed and they're all done, you're still always going to find something in each bed that's unique, and it still is very interesting to see.
Oh, it is.
And we've tried to plant the flowers so that there is always something blooming in each bed.
Okay. Penny, and this garden walk will be Thursday, August 4th, and this is a poster. Thursday, August 4th, it has a picture of your beautiful daughter on it. It's from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and it's a free will offering. We want people to know it's a free will offering, so come and give generously, rain or shine. If it rains, it's going to be the next day, August 5th,
Correct.
Friday, August 5th.
Correct.
Come, and very important because this money will go to Mid-Michigan Medical Center,
Right.
and they do a really good job of distributing that to families that are in need. And I'm sure you must be very grateful for people in the community who step up to help you.
We sure are. Every dime counts.
Okay, and you have other fundraisers you do too?
Yes, I have a friend, Ron Brady, who actually went to school with my daughter,
Okay.
who does a fishing tournament every February, and those funds are donated to Susan's Wish.
It goes out on Beaver Lake, and I know that they have a fun time there too.
And we have other individuals who donate.
Okay, and we know we have some beautiful raffle prizes too, and tickets are $1 each or 6 for $5. So
Yes.
any idea what our prizes might be?
I just spoke with Doug from Prattscape today, and he has 2 metal yard art pieces that he's donating. And Joseph made 3 glass, what we call button vases.
Okay.
And the buttons are made from antique buttons, and he put them together. It's just adorable.
Okay.
That would be a whimsical piece right there. So.
And so we know there'll be more. Lots of good things. So come Thursday, August 4th, or rain date August 5th, 9 to 4, 212 Baldwin Street between First and Clinton. And there's a big arched
Yes.
thing that says
Entranceway
Shikuski.
that says Shikuski.
And
on
that's where
there.
you come in. Please come in that entrance and get a guided tour and come and join us. And I encourage everyone, if you've not been there before, you really need to come and
Yes,
see that garden.
please.
It's just
They really have to come.
unbelievable. Thank you, ladies, both very much. I look forward
Thank
to
you,
hearing about the
Nancy.
wonderful success, and you might even see me there.
Thank you,
Okay, hope
Nancy.
so.
Thank you. I'll be right back with some information about North 45 East following these messages. Hi, welcome back. My last 2 guests are Joe Basto and Ann Harity, and we're here to talk about North 45 East. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for having us.
Before we get into North 45 East and we find out all about that, I want to start out with you, Joe. You grew up here, came back to town. You're so happy to be in Alpena. We read you and your sister's articles in the Alpena News on a weekly basis. So tell me what's happening and what's exciting.
So we're thrilled to be back. My wife and my family, we've been back in Alpena since 2008. I currently teach English at Alpena High School, coach my son's travel soccer team and my little guy's soccer team, and we're thrilled to be back in Alpena, be part of the community. It's great to be close to my sister again. Of course, we've been close for a long, long time, but we're living maybe 2 miles from each other, and so we get to see each other a lot more than we had in the past, and so we're thrilled to be in Alpena. It's a fabulous community to be back into and to be involved in, and it's been a lot of fun to get to know Alpena again after being gone for so long.
And Ann, you're back too?
Yes, yep. Many years out in the western part of the country, and like Joe said, it's great to be near family and back in our community where we grew up. You know, my son is in high school at our high school and the high school where my dad taught, so that has a lot of value. It's been an interesting ride for sure. So we've been close, as Joe mentioned, for many years, and close to our immediate family, in particular our Aunt Susan, and she passed away in 2007, and that is when we decided to try to start something up in her honor, and we started a nonprofit called Susan Lane Foundation, which is how we started creating and organizing some literary events for our area.
And you've jumped in with both feet, and you've been going crazy. Everybody reads your articles in the Alpena News. So tell me about North 45 East, how that what that came from and why is it named that?
So we began, 2009.
Yeah, yes, with some ancillary events.
And it was at the Alpena Library. It began. We just wanted to have a feature event in Alpena because we saw that there was a need for that, where it was celebration poetry. And so we gathered some fabulous. We were fortunate enough, and really, I mean, blessed to have some Michigan award-winning poets come up and join us for that. And so North 45 East grew out of that.
Yeah.
And once we got the nonprofit established under Susan Lane Foundation, we were really able to kind of take off with that. And we've had it at, this will be our 4th year at Art in the Loft, celebrating that on the 13th of August from 5:30 to 7:30. But we have, again, in our 4th year, some poets that are just incredible, award-winning, powerful. We have music. Connor Larkin's going to be playing as well, and we'll have some snacks.
Some drinks.
And some cocktails will be available as well. A fabulous event, a fun time, some powerful work from some very powerful writers. North 45 East, do you want to talk about that?
Well, you know, of course, we're on the 45th parallel, and we're in the northeastern corner of the state, and we really did want to sort of target our area for these literary opportunities. You know, Joe and I have been able to travel a little bit to the Lansing area, Grand Rapids, Traverse City, some other areas that have more frequent opportunities. We felt we wanted to bring some of those right in our backyard. So the name came out of that. As Joe mentioned, you know, we've had really excellent participation and great support from the people we've contacted throughout the state who are well-known, well-published people. And they love to come up to Alpena. We love to go to Art in the Loft because it showcases other forms of art, and we feel like poetry is art, and it's nice to collaborate in that way. Justin at Art in the Loft's been very helpful and supportive as well. So.
And you know, talking about, you know, different venues and ancillary events, you know, we are so blessed in our community. We have people, authors, poets, events, musicians who come to our town or who live in our town that put on wonderful shows and literary events and artistic events and musical events that you'd have to travel many, many miles to see. And I'm so glad that you're doing the literacy component as part of it, because you're right. I mean, there were, maybe a few poetry readings in the past, but this is so well organized, and as you said, with wonderful poets, and so to have all those arts in town through Jessie Basto Museum, Alpena County Library,
Absolutely.
Art in the Loft, Alpena Arts Council, the schools.
The theaters.
The 2 theaters. We are so very, very blessed to have that in our community.
Absolutely. And, you know, we've even done some musical combinations and some ways of really trying to get poetry to be more accessible to people. I think people have an idea that poetry is going to be stuffy and boring, and there's not much appeal there, but man, everyone who's come so far to this particular event especially, they're pretty blown away by the experience of it, and being able to converse with writers and talk about the process a little bit too has been really fun to watch.
And the accessibility, really, when we think about poetry. And Susan Lane Foundation is not just a poetry foundation. We're interested in storytelling and teaching and collaborative efforts. But we associate poetry with, you know, Ralph Waldo Emerson, all the dead white guys that we had to read in high school and struggled to understand what the heck they were talking about. But with what we're showcasing at the event, people, I think, are really pleasantly surprised by the accessibility of the ideas and the notions and a lot of things that we can tie into our world and how we see it.
And as we talked earlier, how I interpret a poem and how you interpret a poem is going to be so different. And to me, that's the most exciting part, to listen to you talk about what you think that poem means. And I go, oh my goodness, I never even would have thought of that. And it's such food for thought.
Absolutely, that's what great art does, is it you know, inspires conversation and a way to have people connect with each other and compare and contrast ideas. And I think poetry in particular, with the rhythm and hearing it, is a totally different experience than just reading it on the page. So we're happy to be able to bring that.
Yeah,
to
meant to
people.
be heard, meant to be spoken. One of the oldest forms of artistic expression that we know of. So it definitely has a power when you're hearing it, the oratory and the delivery, and there's so many nuances. It's but it's not stuffy. It's enjoyable, and you get to be a part of something that's not just sit down and fold your hands over your lap and sit for 2 hours and then
sit
depart.
in a coffee house in Ann Arbor.
Or snap your fingers, which you can. But I mean, we have a good time. There's laughter and there's
It's energetic. We have an intermission period where people can talk to the poets, and
walk
there's
around, look at the
music,
art,
have
and
snacks, enjoy the rest of the art. Yeah, so it's very easygoing event.
Okay, the date once again is?
August the 13th.
Okay.
So
which
Saturday.
is a Saturday,
Okay.
5:30 till 7:30.
Okay.
If you can't make it right at 5:30, please come anyway.
Okay.
Open to all.
And is there a charge to get in?
We're selling tickets this year for the first time for $10.
Okay.
We've had recommended donations in the past. We wanted to offer opportunity for people that weren't going to be there to still support the foundation.
Yes. Yeah.
So that this year offers us that opportunity. So
Tickets available at Art in the Loft, Blue Phoenix Books, or they can email us at susanlanefoundation@gmail.com, and we'll make sure they get some tickets.
Okay, and I look forward to reading your next piece in the Alpena News. Thank you for doing that. Like I said, I always take time to read it. And afterwards I go, what? Okay.
good.
It makes me think. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to hearing about the wonderful success of North 45 East, and thanks for all the work that you do to bring this art form to our community.
Thank you, Nancy.
Please join us.
Please stay tuned for Dr. Don McMaster following these messages.
Good morning. I am Jay Walterite, Director of Public Information and Marketing at Alpena Community College, and this is the ACC portion of Talk of the Town. With me again is Director of Facilities, Nick Breggy. Nick, welcome.
Thank you.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. It's always fun to talk to you about all the great things that are going on at the college right now. Where should we begin? It's summertime.
Yeah, the flowers are in full bloom, and looks very nice if anyone's driving through. We have quite a bit done this summer, but we've got more to come before school starts. So by fall, people will begin to notice as they drive down Johnson Street some banners probably going up, just welcoming everyone to the campus and letting you know that you're on ACC campus. Welcome.
Festive and nice to look at.
Yeah, and then we hope that maybe we can highlight some of the events that we have periodically, like the art show we do every year, and maybe some of the sporting activities, basketball teams, and remind the community, hey, we have a college team.
We do. Come
on out and support us. And then the commencement ceremony and some of the other seasonal activities. So those banners should be going up before fall.
Fall being August in this case?
Yeah, well, before September, right?
Okay.
For our fall semester.
Fall semester, sure.
And then anyone coming into the Besser Tech facility will notice as soon as they walk in the lobby, we have a new college seal, a 6-foot diameter seal on our newly refinished terrazzo floor, and it really accents the space and provides some rich history. It's an inlay over the terrazzo, and it's the original college seal, which I believe has been around since 1952, since the college was formed, and so it's a reminder of the rich history and also a decorative and kind of a nice accent to that space.
I'd say that's the crowning feature on a renovated but a fixed up lobby. Can you talk a little bit more about the other things that have happened in there?
Yeah, it's a project that the Campus Beautification Committee took on to just try to refresh that space. We have some new furniture, some new seating in there, a little bit of new carpeting, and it really frames nicely that space and provides a little bit of seating for students or a study area or just the general public using our facilities that might want to wait for a ride or just need to kill some time and take a seat. It's sort of a gateway looking into the atrium, which is also in full bloom right now. Some of the work that Dawn Lancaster's done over the last few years to renovate that is really paying off now. If anyone has a chance to go in there and see it, it's breathtaking right now. My only regret is that more people don't get to use the space this time of year because our campus is generally a little bit emptier in the summer. We try to keep the space unlocked, so if the public does want to come in, use it as a picnic space, or even if they'd like to schedule any events, you know, that's a possibility too.
And take this as an invitation to come on the ACC campus, walk around and see all the wonderful things that are going on. Beautiful plantings, flowers, trees, all sorts of wonderful things. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No problem. But as you make your way through the Besser corridor, the Besser Tech corridor, you'll see, you begin to see more displays of the occupational programs in there. So still pictures of the auto service program, the welding program, manufacturing technology, machining, all of those programs along the corridor. We're gonna put them up for display, and any prospective students or high school students or anyone passing by gets an idea or a flavor of what those programs are about. So it's adding a little bit of decoration to the hallway. It's a little bit inspirational, and it's a touch of marketing as well for those programs. So those are going to begin to go up, and then as you move into the center building, we have some student art displays, some very colorful CGI art that a student produced. We have a very vibrant and active arts program on our campus, and most of that work gets displayed over at the Fine Arts Center, which if you're not in the arts program, you don't get to go through there and see all this stuff. So this kind of brings it to more of a high traffic central location. And the idea or our plan is to refresh that art often.
Great.
So maybe every semester or every year, we want to put new student art in there and display what's happening over there in our arts program. So aside from our annual art show, we'll also be displaying some student art in our near the Lumberjack Shack. Speaking of arts and humanities and paintings, we also wanted to highlight our Wilson Gallery a little bit. One of the ideas that came out of the Campus Beautification Committee is that, you know, not a lot of people know that we have the Wilson Art Gallery. It's kind of tucked away on the second floor of the Natural Resources Center, but maybe we could bring some of that artwork out for people to enjoy, either through reproduction or bring some of the actual prints out, and a little caption that this is part of our Wilson collection that was donated. And to see the original, they can, you know, see it on the second floor of Natural Resources Center. I recently took a trip over to Petoskey, and I was able to walk the North Central Community College campus there, and they have a very nice sculpture garden out in the middle of their campus. And myself and Tim Kuhnlein were both inspired. Tim's the instructor for political science at the college. Inspired to bring some of that to our campus and maybe get some outdoor artwork displays and sculptures. So that's maybe a little bit more of the things that we hope to incorporate into the bike path and sort of an art walk around town. Bring the campus into that.
Great.
We're also putting some seating along the bike path. We're putting in some benches there, so anyone using the bike path and wants to stop and take a break and enjoy the beautiful view of Lake Besser that we enjoy off of the Van Laer Hall side, they can do that. We really have a nice spot there, and it's good that we just want to highlight the beautiful view that we have there. So it's a good piece of property.
I've ridden up there with my daughter in tow on a tag-along, and I've needed a place to stop and sit down for a minute to rest.
Well, now you'll have one.
Oh, good.
So those are some of the few projects that are going to happen before school starts in the fall. And moving forward, we just want to keep everything fresh, you know. 5 years from now, we don't want the same pictures hanging as we put up this year. So those occupational program pictures, those student art pictures, we just want to keep them fresh and new. And so it just brings a new look every time someone comes back. It never feels like it's the same.
I think that's a great idea, and I'll be happy to help. My office will help with the photos and any other thing that we can do.
Yeah, Jess in your office has already offered to do some of the artwork for our banners, so very talented. She's a member of the Campus Beautification Committee as well, so it's great that we have all that talent we can draw from in the college there. So.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all those wonderful things They're there already, and they're coming in the near future. So I would encourage everybody in the public to stop by the college, drive by at least, and see all the flowers and see all the wonderful things that are going on. Well, Nick, that's all our time right now.
Well, thank you very much for
Thank
having
you for
me.
being on the show. I always appreciate hearing what you have to say about the college.
Okay.
And thank you for joining me. Once again, I am Jay Walterwright, Director of Public Information and Marketing for Alpena Community College, and this is Talk of the Town.
This has been Talk of the Town with your hosts, Nancy Smitham and Don McMaster. For a list of events taking place in Northeast Michigan, please visit our website at wbkb11.com and click on the community link. This has been a Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation production.
The Talk of the Town furniture and set design are provided by Young Appliance Art Van Furniture on US 23 South in Alpena.